Again, good luck. There you go. Here's a master clicker.
Good afternoon. My name is Keegan Shields, and I'm the CEO of Persistent BioControl. At Persistent BioControl, we rescue farms from insect pests. We say, don't fight Mother Nature, partner with her. It's a simple tenet that we think can greatly improve U.S. agriculture. So in case you weren't aware, being a corn farmer is a tough job, right? The hours are long, the work is hard, and at the end of the day, there's no guarantee you're even going to make money. Climate change, extreme weather, rising seed costs are squeezing farms from all sides. The truth is, our corn farmers can't afford to lose another $1 billion next year. So where's all the money going? Corn rootworm. These nasty little bugs devour corn roots. In large numbers, they can cut a field's yield in half. They could turn a great year into a terrible one for farmers. And this problem has spread from the Midwest all the way to New York. Wherever we grow corn, rootworm is there. Now, GMO corn used to control this, but they've become resistant to every version we've thrown at them. Imagine if we treated every infection with just penicillin, right? Nature adapts. Natural selection breeds resistance, and the medicine stops working. And that's what's happened here. But what if we partnered with nature instead? Every bug has a predator, right? Meet corn rootworm's predator. Tiny worms called nematodes. At Persistent BioControl, we use them to kill corn rootworm before they can damage corn plants. They're nature's perfect solution. They hunt down corn rootworm, attack them, kill them, and reproduce, and go find more rootworm. But is it enough? Are the worms enough to stop the damage? Judge for yourself. These corn roots were taken from neighboring fields in central New York, right about 50 miles from here. In both fields, rootworm had become resistant to the GMO corn, right? It doesn't kill them anymore. But the field on the left were treated with our nematodes. They protected the roots, the corn grew tall, the farmer made plenty of money. But here's the cool part. The nematodes that were applied to that field were applied 8 years ago. They've been protecting this field since 2014. It's pretty awesome. That's because we use wild nematodes, right, that can persist from growing season to growing season, just like in nature. And that's our core innovation. That's reduced the price for farmers and given us access to the field crop market for the first time. And our customers love them. They love the single application. They love using fewer pesticides and the low cost. What they really love is making more money. It helps their businesses grow. It helps their families and their communities thrive. Our customers also understand that we have to get off this GMO treadmill, right? Where the companies release a new product and nature adapts. They release another product and nature adapts. We're running out of options, and the answer is right in front of us. Partner with nature. So 30,000 acres. We know our customers because New York is our beachhead market. Our technology was discovered at the Shields Lab at Cornell University, and since 2010, they've applied 30,000 acres of persistent nematodes to 180 New York farms. Those farmers paid $50 an acre, and that's validated our market for us. Our momentum is building, but we need your help to scale this across farms across New York and the US. So, our technology is awesome, our customers love it, and they're willing to pay for it, which is important, but none of that matters if it's hard to use. So we've made the entire experience painless for farmers. Here's how it works. A farmer places an order for 100 acres, let's say. It takes us 3 weeks to produce the nematodes, and we deliver them in solution, ready to apply. The farmer has 14 days to apply them to their field. That's it. They can use equipment they already own. There's no special training, no special equipment needed. Apply our nematodes to your field, get the benefit for decades. So how do we stack up against the competition? Companies like Syngenta offer short-term nematodes that only last for 30 days. And they've never been widely adopted in field crops because they're just too expensive. right? Farmers can't afford to pay $150 per acre per year. Our innovation, persistence, has allowed us to reduce the amount of nematodes we put on per acre, right? Less product per acre. Our nematodes are cheaper because we don't have to make as many. We let nature do the rest. Unfortunately, today, farmers are taking the last option, which is to do nothing, accept the losses, and worry about it next year. So, you might be thinking at this point, Keegan, that sounds great, but doesn't that mean you can only sell a customer one time? And you're right, that's true. Fortunately, our customers have a very high lifetime value, right? And they like to spread out their purchases over 4 or 5 years, which really helps with our momentum. And they're pretty cheap to acquire, right? Even if the cost of acquisition triples, we're still going to make plenty of money. And the market's huge, which is important, right? 80 million acres of GMO corn were planted last year in the US. To put that in perspective, if you planted corn on every square foot of New York, the whole state, and you did that 2.5 times, that's how much corn is grown every year in the US. And this problem is local as well. In the GrowNY region, we grew 500,000 acres of corn and lost about $20 million to rootworm. That's $20 million every year disappearing from the economy. So we put together an aggressive growth plan for the next few years. This year, we focused on partnering with regional ag companies, and we'll look to use them as a sales channel for next year. The other exciting sales channel we're working on are the seed companies themselves, right? EPA requires that any company that sells GMO corn seeds has to have a rescue plan, right? If a farmer encounters resistance, there has to be a plan to deal with it. There currently that plan does not exist, right? There is no known solution to address resistance in the corn rootworm population. Our technology is the only solution. We put together an awesome team. Tony Testa is my co-founder. He knows how to produce nematodes at scale because he's been doing it for 30 years. Right? Those 30,000 acres of nematodes, that was Tony. Our pro bono CTO is my father, Dr. Elson Shields. He's the world expert on persistent nematodes and is our scientific anchor. We've also gone out and recruited some awesome advisors. For example, Trent has started multiple manufacturing companies in central New York. So they're experts in areas we aren't. So why do we need the money? This all sounds great. Why do we need the money? And the answer is growth. We've taken this technology from the lab, commercialized it, and put it in the marketplace. But we need your help to get in front of customers across the US. The best way to do that, we found, are demonstration fields. We go out and find the worst field in a county, the one that's falling over from corn rootworm, and we put acres on half of that field. Excuse me. We let nature take over. Once that farmer sees half their field falling over, the other half standing tall from nematodes, they're all in. And their neighbors get to see that field, and farmers like to talk. So what does GrowNY get for $1 million investment? Invest with us, and you'll get a 3,000 square foot facility in Cortland, New York. That'll create 21 high-paying jobs in manufacturing, sales, marketing, and accounting. Our team is from Central New York, and we really want to give back to this region that's made this whole company possible. So we also want to lock in a $40 per acre price for GrowNY farmers. That's a 30% discount today, and as we raise our price in the rest of the country, GrowNY farmers will never pay more than $40 an acre. Finally, we want to donate 2,000 acres of nematodes to GrowNY, and we've partnered with organizations like Cayuga Milk Ingredients to find farmers that need help now. We'll also look to prioritize farms operated by underrepresented groups to help level the playing field. Fundamentally, our company's story is a New York story. Right? Our technology was discovered here at a New York institution, and it's been funded by New York farmers for 25 years because they believed in the vision. With your help, we can give back to this region that's made this all possible, and we can manufacture our nematodes here and provide jobs. This technology has huge potential, right? Wheat, alfalfa, corn, organic vegetables, cotton, the list is enormous. We can partner with nature, and this is just the beginning. Thank you.
So, well done, persistent biocontrol. Over to you, Laura, for the first question.
Yeah, I'm the farmer, so I always have lots of questions about these kind of things.
Yeah.
So you're saying that these nematodes will last forever?
So we've got 25 years worth of data. I'm sure the lawyers have told me I can't say forever, but yeah, it's pretty close.
Okay, is there some chance that the nematode could actually become a pest on some type of crop that you don't know that it is a pest of?
So the 3 species of nematodes we use are insect attacking only. There's like thousands of species of nematodes. Some are plant attacking. The 3 we're using are well known to attack insects. We probably have decades of research on them. So we've never seen any harmful side effects, right, in any of the research.
One more follow-up. And so this could be useful on other crops then besides field corn. You already have that data?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's not behind me, but you can see, right, there are a ton of adjacent markets, right? And our long-term vision is to give any farmer whatever they produce, right? If they grow corn and soybeans or corn and alfalfa, we give them a reason to put nematodes on their entire farm. So we've got really good data. We started with corn because we have very strong data, and the pain of the customer is really high. Right? They have no useful alternative.
Great. Okay. John Eng for a question.
Great tech here. Have this been tested across varying climates? Is it a one-time application for all these applications?
Yeah, we've never lost persistence in a field we've applied to. And we have applied to, we've got customers in western Nebraska, New Mexico, West Texas, Michigan, Wisconsin, Maine, Canada. So yeah, we've covered all the biomes.
John Catabiano.
So,
Wow.
so a geeky question first.
Sure.
So is the nematode lives 25 years, or they regenerate, or what's the story there?
Yeah, so wild nematodes have a strategy basically to bridge periods where there's no prey, right? So when they hatch, if you remember that picture where they're all bursting out, only about 30% actually go out and find prey. The rest just kind of sit in a stasis and wait, and it's that wild genetics that are lost in the commercial strains. It's very easily lost. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. But the actual nematode itself isn't really around for 25 years. Its successor or somebody will, right? That's what's really.
Yeah, I think they last a couple weeks.
So okay, good. So and then I know you answered. I think you answered sort of the question up front, but I'll maybe pretend I didn't hear and answer or ask it again. No real regulatory hurdles around this because this. I also sometimes you put in that category too good to be true.
Yeah.
What's been holding you back if this has performed the way it has, and it's been worked out for this long? What's been holding it back?
So nematodes are actually EPA exempt from any kind of restrictions. You can go online and buy them, online, buy a pack, put them on your lawn. So this technology was originally developed for invasive species that's only in northern New York. So a lot of that research, there was no real larger market. It's only recently, the Shields lab just completed a 7-year study on their impact in corn rootworm. Right, so we've got the ball rolling. It takes a while to develop this stuff because you have to wait a year to see persistence, right? And we've been working with partners to deploy this in Texas and New Mexico, make sure it works in all areas of the country.
Great. Mary Shellman, I think you've got a question?
Sure. Well, actually, John asked part of my question, which is if this is, with these very impressive results, why has it has it not been so widely adopted before? So I appreciate what you said there. So can you tell me a bit more about the your go-to-market, but also the manufacturing piece behind it? Because clearly you have a supply issue and a distribution issue if suddenly everybody across the U.S. adopts this.
Yeah. So part of our IP is how we preserve the persistent nematodes and manufacture them at scale. That's what Tony's really good at. So we could talk about some of the production details offline maybe. But we only have one major input, and we can, at a certain size, we can grow that in-house. Right? So the limiting factor for us so far has been demand. Right? It takes a year to see kind of a consistent customer. They want to see it as a trial on their field, and then maybe they order next year. Right? So we're trying to load the sales funnel, and I think we'll start to see some acceleration.
Additional questions, judges? Annie?
So I'm always the one who asks this question, so I'd like to be consistent. And that says you did mention partnerships. Can you share a little bit about the partnerships, if you can reveal more about them, how they've helped you? You spoke a little bit about going into other areas. Maybe they're helping you with other crops. Would like to know how that works and what are the agreements.
So we talked about I talked about the GMO corn producers, right? These are big companies, Dow, DuPont, Bayer. Corteva has actually pledged $1 million to study this over the next couple of years. And we were recently contacted by the global resistance management team of another company that's interested. I think so we have 3 main sales channels, right? This year we worked on the regional ag distribution companies that sell corn seed, right? They have long-term relationships with their customers that they want to preserve. If they sell them corn seed and it all falls over, they want to be able to do something about that, right? We've also had success with a referral program. So if a farmer refers their neighbor for a commission, and then the third sales channel is longer term, but that's the seed companies themselves.
Laura, do you have another question?
I see you have organic vegetables listed on there.
I do.
So I'm assuming that means that they would be considered approved by OMRI for organic production?
Yeah, so OMRI has approved other nematodes. Our application is pending. I think it takes about 6 months. But they're the same. I guess you could say ours are more natural.
Are those other nematodes ones that would stay in the soil forever?
No, we're the only
You're
source.
the only ones. So I wonder if that would be any issue with them, or you don't think that would be?
They review kind of the inputs and make sure that there's no insecticides, toxins that are going into your product as well, and there's none of that. We don't anticipate a problem.
Back to you, John.
Yeah, I get why you're going after the corn rootworm market, because it's such a large market. Little parochial interests on the vegetable side, a little bit like Laura. Are you seeing that when I see that list of things that it's effective against, things like maggot in general, is it pretty effective against maggots? Because I'm thinking, like for example, New York's got a large onion industry, which is a real, that could be a real issue. I'm curious, any information you have on that?
Yeah, I think different products, there's different soil insects that are a problem. Organic farmers are really great at rotating, right? So they don't ever really develop a corn rootworm issue because they're rotating their fields. That's why they do it. The big opportunity we've seen are in wireworms. So organic farms like to use grass as a cover crop or rotate into a field that was grass for a couple of years, and that draws in wireworms. And organic farms can't use the pesticides, the soil insecticides for wireworms. So we've seen, in the trials we put out, we've seen a 50% reduction in wireworm damage in the first year, and that goes up in year 2. So you're throwing away less of the produce, that you'd like to sell. Nobody wants a potato with a hole in it, bug hole.
Nice. Well, we're close on time. I think we'll call it there. Thank you so much, judges. And thank you, Persistent Biocontrol. Well done.